Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Microsoft Pulse. You're here with Tamara and Tom, and we're going to go through the Microsoft roadmap with you, tell you what's new and what's changed and how it's going to affect you. The roadmap is broken up into 4 different areas. The first one is in development. That's right, Microsoft is working on it. Then we move on to rolling out, which means it's starting to trickle out into the different environments. Then we're into launched. So everybody for that designated release should have the feature, and then canceled or duplicates, which we do find a couple of those in this roadmap. So let's get started, Tom. Why don't you kick it off and let us know what you found interesting in development?
Okay, so I will go ahead and cover some of the Copilot things, which I normally tend to do. Um, so if you're in the process of learning and using Copilot pages, what you're now going to find is when those files get stored, basically a Copilot page is like a page of loop components. So normally you'd see that as a file called .loop. Well, now Copilot pages are going to have a different extension. They're going to be .page. This is the new file extension will continue to support admin toggles, sensitivity labels, data loss prevention, all those good things that you're used to seeing with Loop, because basically the functionality and support for the .page file extension will be identical to the existing Loop file extension, with the only difference being the file extension and the associated file icon. So you have a new icon to look at too. So if you see something that looks a little weird, it's like, what's this .page thing? It's basically a Copilot page. That's coming out in June and is coming out to worldwide and GCC. Then I'm going to leave the team ones for you in case you don't cover them, and then I'll go back and pick them up. But because there's some Teams ones that you're going to love. Then we have Copilot, prepare for meeting in calendar. So what's going to happen now is if you have a calendar meeting, because you're usually, triple, double, fourple booked, the whole bit,
Purple?
fourple booked, you're going to see a prepare button. And if you have a Copilot license, if you click that prepare button, what it's going to do is help you quickly get context by summarizing the meeting for you and showing relevant files and things like that. I believe commercial already has that. This particular item due in June is for Outlook and GCC. So GCC is getting some love in the Copilot space. Then we have, actually, I'm going to do a couple of Outlook ones and then I'll throw it back over to you. One is Outlook Insert Graphic. So this is going to be when composing a message in the new Outlook for Windows and the web, there will be a new graphics button under the Insert tab. So this is going to open up a panel for you that will allow users to search and pick from a large selections of emoji, stock photos, and stickers which are inserted into the message. So instead of having to go find those kind of things, it's going to work a little bit more like Teams where you can say, hey, here's 3 different, classifications of things I can put in my message. Now you're going to be able to do that same thing in Outlook. That's coming in July and is coming out to the standard tenant and GCC. And then the other one, which I think is kind of unique, and I'm liking it, Outlook, report junk and block or unsubscribed in one same action. So you'll see this a lot of times if you're using like Google Mail or Gmail, where it'll say, hey, this is junk mail. Do you want me to unsubscribe you too? And it will take care of finding the link and clicking on it for you and all those kind of things. So now what's going to happen in Outlook is they're making it easier for you to keep your inbox clean and under control. Now, when you report an email as junk, you'll also have the option to unsubscribe it if that's available in the email. This helps stop unwanted messages at the source, keeps your blocked list from getting overloaded. If subscribing isn't possible, you'll still be able to block the sender to prevent future emails. This update gives you more control and a simpler way to manage unwanted messages. So I think that's going to be really useful for people who get junk that they just don't want, but it's all those extra button clicks to try to find these unsubscribe. It's going to kind of take care of that for you now. So that is due out in June this month, and that's for Outlook standard clients. So that's going to be basically just the standard client. Hopefully this will filter down to GCC and all those ones later on. So what do you have that looks really cool there, Tamara?
Fabulous. I have a couple things. Microsoft Teams custom dictionary. So tenant administrators can now upload a custom dictionary through the M365 admin portal's Copilot settings page to include tenant-specific terminologies. Now, this is going to be a great enhancement that allows entity recognition in Teams meeting transcripts, benefiting both Recap and Copilot's understanding of the content. Now, that's coming out to the standard tenant. Then we have in Microsoft Teams Advanced Collaboration Analytics for GCC, and that's Advanced Collaboration Athletics.
Whoosha,
We're having a
whoosha.
different kind of meeting now. Everybody stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight.
Burpees,
All right.
burpees.
No more of those. I had
No
enough
more
in elementary
burpees.
school. All right. Teams admins with insights into external collaboration patterns, covering Teams, federated domains, channels, guests, and internal users, along with the recommended actions to enhance security for external collaboration. So they're making it easier the higher we go up the security food chain to do collaboration with your external partners. So that's for GCC. Tom, and I'm sorry, I was chatting with Adam. Did you already take the countdown timer for Teams meetings?
I didn't, but I mentioned it to you earlier. I'll be happy to talk about that one, though.
No, I'd love to talk about it.
Or you can take that one.
So, a countdown timer for Teams meeting. I didn't want to repeat it if you had, and I had checked out for a second. I apologize.
Nope.
Manage team and streamline meeting discussions with the new countdown timer for Teams meetings. So if you weren't stressed out enough, they're now going to count you down. Any user can easily add a timer of any duration to the meeting, up to 100 minutes, which will appear in the meeting window for all participants with controls to start, stop, pause, and add more time. Colors automatically change as the timer gets closer to zero.
Green, yellow,
Ooh.
red.
Exactly, to help keep the speaker on track. What a polite way of saying, wrap it up, wrap it up.
Well, what's interesting is I happened to run across this basic topic on an article that I read this weekend. And they were talking about this is probably one of the most highly requested things in Teams. And I believe it had 90,000 upvotes in the feedback forum. So they finally have it out there.
Well, it's nice to see Microsoft is listening.
Yes. Took 90,000 people, but hey, they listened.
And Copilot, but now it's listening all the time. So, Microsoft Teams inclusive meeting enhancement for sign language users. I thought this was great. I just saw an example of this the other day. So sign language users will benefit from the enhanced meeting experience. Interpreters will be clearly identified in the participant roster and visually distinguished throughout the meeting. Deaf and hard of hearing participants who use sign language will be automatically detected and evaluated to active speaker status, ensuring equal prominence with spoken audio participation. This will help create a more equitable and collaborative environment for everyone.
I know right now, I think you can designate somebody as a sign language person and make sure that their video never leaves the screen.
Is front and center, yeah.
Yeah, but it sounds like they're bringing in some more of the deaf and hard of hearing participants into the mix and making it easier for them to participate.
Yes. And they're going to allow you to open Teams apps in a new window.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so you can organize your work environment to fit your needs. Users will be able to open Teams apps like chat and calls and activity and more in separate windows, allowing users to view and interact with these apps simultaneously. A lot of times I want to compare something that I'm doing in the chat. Somebody sent me something in the chat and I have to refer back to it to go to this other thing. And it's so tough because I have the short-term memory of a sieve. So when you have to hop back, it's true, and no permanence. So if you put a vegetable in the vegetable drawer, that's where it stays until it works its own way out. So, but to not have to hop back and forth to the same page, to be able to have it out and separate, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, to
And
break it
then
out
the
of being that big
Outlook,
monolithic thing is really cool. So,
yeah. And then the Outlook editor is getting worked on for everybody. So it's getting worked on for GCC High, DoD, GCC, and the standard tenant. That's the editor in Outlook. So automatic spelling and grammar checking when composing an email message. So that's what I had. Did you have anything else you wanted to touch on before we go on to rolling out?
I'm going to channel Adam here and just throw one out because I think it's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the Purview Compliance Portal, new email indicators to alert on exfiltration of business sensitive data to free public domains or to self. So, in this update, they're adding two new email indicators. One is sending email with attachments to free public domains such as Gmail, Yahoo, things like that. This is going to alert when business sensitive data is potentially leaked from a work account to a free public domain email, potentially leading to a security incident. And two, sending emails with attachments to yourself. This alerts when business sensitive data is potentially leaked from a work email account to a user's personal email account or emailing self, potentially leading to a data security incident. Now, I'm assuming that when they say sending this stuff to yourself, they're talking about your M365 email account for self, because otherwise I don't know that they would know that I have a Gmail account, which would be flagged under the free one anyway. But, is that my self account? No, I'm assuming this is the M365 account. So these
It's
kind of
so
things,
tempting to say your email address right now. I
most
won't
people
do
could
it.
probably figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, this is just one of those things that with insider risk management, people taking, oh, here's a confidential document. I'm going to email it off to myself, or I'm going to email it to a private, Gmail account that I just don't advertise. And yeah, that's going to start being flagged now. So I think that's a really good thing coming out in July, and that's coming out across the board. So
Great.
stuff.
All right. Well, in rolling out, I found a couple things that I liked.
Okay.
So Outlook sync folder order. I didn't know that it wasn't doing this. The order of folders in Outlook Mobile will now sync to match the folder order on other Outlook apps.
Cool.
I'm so excited because I thought it was me. I'm like, maybe I'm not remembering it right. Memory of a sieve. There you go. But that was released in May for the standard tenant, GCC, GCC High, and DoD. So I think a lot of people are going to be happy for that love. Then in Microsoft Teams, adding and editing external contacts. So with this feature athletics features. So with this feature, users will now be able to add and edit external contacts from the team's phone devices. And that's for everybody. That's the standard tenant, GCC, GCC High, and DoD. Then I wanted to touch on the town hall in Teams. Organizers, co-organizer, and presenters can now join as attendees so they can find out what the experience is like for the attendees. So if you have a couple people coming in, I can't hear, I can't see, you can hop on in there and see, is this an everyone thing or is it this particular user's issue, and help them mitigate that issue if it is. And then search emails while offline in the new Outlook for Windows, hashtag new Outlook for Windows. So we're adding more functionality to the offline mode in the new Outlook for Windows, and you'll now be able to do basic search functions without an internet connection or when the search service fails. And then the one I really like is Outlook. Large audience warning in Outlook for iOS and Android.
Womp, womp, womp.
This is to let you know, no, seriously, do you want to send this email to 2,600 people? So users are warned when they're emailing a large number of recipients, which can help them to make the correct decision about wording, tone, and content. And this is good for everybody. The standard GCC, GCC high, DOD, we've got to wait a little longer, but that's okay. And the last thing I wanted to touch on in rolling out, and then I'll leave it for Tom if there's anything left to talk about, is customize your sites with multiple color themes. This just makes me think of Skittles on your SharePoint sites.
Some people will make
So,
it look like you just threw up on it, yes.
yeah, taste the rainbow.
Whee!
So, site owners can now apply multiple color themes to their sites. These themes can be offered by Microsoft, created by the brand manager in the brand center, or by the site owners themselves. Why would you let them do that? Site owners themselves using the new site branding tool. I see a lot of hot pink and teal happening.
Just remember, just because you can doesn't mean
you should. I have a pair of jeans like that. So what did you like in rolling out, Tom?
So I've got 3 entries. The only one you took that I also had was that very last one right there.
Oh.
So Microsoft 365 Admin Center, usage report, SharePoint storage insights, actions, and resources. The new storage tab will be added to usage report for SharePoint within the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. The new tab will provide visibility into storage quota consumption, usage trend, and recommended actions and resources for storage management and optimization. Really, really important because you see your space slipping away and you don't know where it's going to. I think this is going to help you figure that out, and you can make the adjustments so you're not spending money for extra storage unless you absolutely have to. So that's coming out in May, last month, probably close to being out now, and it came out to everybody. So look for those reports near you. Another one which I think is really cool with Microsoft Copilot, fix all spelling and grammar issues with Copilot. One-click solution to fix spelling and grammar issues in the document. So this is for Word, and it's just for the standard tenant. Obviously, you need a Copilot license for this. But basically, instead of going through page after page after page looking for red squigglies and blue squigglies for spelling and grammar, just going to, Copilot, just take care of it, make me look good, and poof, hopefully you look good and didn't look like you hallucinated, but there is that. So that I think will be really helpful for people. Then we have something that I'm still a little confused about, concerned about. Microsoft Copilot Designer is now part of Copilot, enhanced with new template and slide suggestions. So Designer is now part of Copilot. Copilot Suggestions now brings you familiar designer style layout and presentation template suggestions in a vertical gallery along with new capabilities. So that's coming out in PowerPoint with Copilot, the whole bit. I don't like the fact that they took Designer away from you in PowerPoint, tossed it into Copilot, and now apparently you have to pay money to get that feature that you used to have for free. That one just doesn't feel quite right, but
I'm sensing that.
I don't know. So that's just kind of how I look at that. I have a Copilot license, so I'll still be able to use it. But yeah, I'm kind of sorry to see that swap was made. I understand why Designer would be part of Copilot. I just don't like the fact they took it away as a free feature, and now you have to pay $30 per person per month to use it. So
did you say $3?
30.
Yeah, 30, I'm like,
yeah. Yeah, $3. Sign us all up. Yeah, $3 per person per month. Yeah, I'm all for that one, but no, that's not going to happen. So I'm done with the rolling out.
Fabulous. Let's go to launched. What do you have in launched?
A bunch of blue that's not highlighted with yellow, that's for sure.
Yeah, me too. I found one thing.
Go ahead and say yours, and I'll see if there's anything else other than the one you talked about.
All right. Microsoft Teams bi-directional calendar syncing between Google Workspace and Microsoft Teams. This, I think, is great for those on the G Suite. So, businesses using Gurgle.
Gurgle.
I'm just having so much fun with the English
Oh God,
language
this is so
today.
entertaining.
Businesses using Google Workspace for email and calendaring can now enable bi-directional synchronization with the Microsoft Teams through the Teams admin app. This enhanced sync ensures events created in either platform are seamlessly reflected in both, improving scheduling efficiency and minimizing the risk of missing meetings. With this update, all calendars events, including incoming, outgoing, existing, and new, are fully synchronized. This feature is being rolled out gradually. When rollout is complete, you can sync up to 50,000 users per tenant. That'd be a problem for my customer, but they don't use Google Workspace.
I'm sorry, I'm still just laughing about the fact that you
Gurgle.
came really close to giving away my Gurgle email address.
I almost did.
Oh, I'm just going to throw one out here just so I have something to talk about in launched. Uh, we've got Excel, expanded eligibility for Python in Excel. So Python is a programming language that in the Excel environment, it allows you to do a lot of uh, displays of data, kind of like stuff that you do in Power BI, but you can do it directly in Excel if you understand Python. But you can basically explain, hey, I want to see this, and Copilot will basically build the Python for you. But what this is allowing you to do is Python Excel allows you to bring the capabilities of Python directly into the Excel grid. With this particular release, we're expanding the eligibility for Python in Excel to include users 365 commercial licenses that only have access to the online apps such as the E1 or the Business Basic. It used to be that in order to get that, you had to have a commercial license that was actually the desktop app, E3 or E5s. So this will give you the ability to do access to Excel, be able to add the Python formulas directly into the workbooks. It'll run everything wonderfully, and if that's your vibe, rock on. You're going to be able to do it now in the web instead of just having to do it in the desktop.
Great. Anything else in launch that you liked?
Nope, I'm just looking at 2 canceled items right now.
Yeah, it was a little dry in launched. Why don't I take the first canceled? You take the second canceled.
Works for me.
So, Outlook Copilot can generate an audio overview of a linked file in email. Nope. That's been
Just
canceled.
too bad. I really thought this was going to be cool.
So, after further review, Microsoft has decided not to proceed with this change at this time, and they apologize for any inconvenience. Copilot in Outlook can turn a linked document in email into a dynamic audio overview, transforming it into a listening experience that's easy to follow. To generate an audio overview in Outlook, you would hover over the link for the file in the email and then select Generate Audio Overview. That's not going to happen at this time.
The thing
How
I
about
liked
you,
about
Tom?
the thing I liked about that one was the next sentence. Copilot will bring your content to life through a podcast style discussion between 2 hosts. Wow. Okay.
That was kind of
Hey,
setting the bar a little high.
yeah, but it just sounded like it'd be a whole lot of fun. Hi, we're going to do a podcast with your attachment today. Stay tuned. Well, wait for this ad. Microsoft Teams intelligent meeting recap available in multi-tenant setups. So if that was what you're dealing with, this has actually been canceled because it duplicates another item. So don't get too worked up about it because you're going to get it anyway, just under a different number. And that's really it for the roadmap this week.
Fabulous. Well, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. We know you have a lot of things to do, especially work. When you have some free time and you choose to spend it with us, we're just happy. So thanks so much and have a great day. Bye
Go
now.
check out your Gurgle emails.
Your Gurgle emails or your athletics. Bye now.
Bye.